All right. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. There's just a couple of things I wanted to discuss with you guys as far as this Trayvon Martin thing. And it's not about the case. It's not about, it's about people who complain about the media attention that this case has drawn. And I'm just going to go ahead and break this down for you for the reason why. For the reason why there was so much media surrounding what happened with Trayvon Martin. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and discuss what happens in other cities, which pretty much solidifies my point in this situation. All right, basically with Trayvon Martin, this is why there was such a huge issue when it came to Trayvon Martin's death. It wasn't race driven. Nobody said that George Zimmerman was a racist. Nobody said that. I mean, of course, there was racial profiling, but that's pretty much in any case involving a black person and somebody, black person wearing baggy clothes, hoodie. That's pretty much any case. Of course, there's going to be a little racial profiling, especially considering the fact that the only thing that's spread throughout the news is black people killing each other, black people robbing, black people stealing. Yes, there's going to be that kind of. It's going to be like that. That's what's going to happen. So the whole racial profiling that happens. That's not to say that he was racist, because you can't sit here and say that George Zimmerman was racist either. You know what I mean? He knew who he was dealing with, because the phone call said, they asked him, what do you think? What is he? Is he black, white, Hispanic? He was like, I think he's black. So off the back, we all know that he knew the kid was black. Not to say that he was racially profiling. This is where things get iffy. When everything transpired, George Zimmerman followed him. Pretty much for the next few moments, nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what happened from the time that George Zimmerman got off the phone to the time that that lady called in, that 911 call from that lady saying that somebody was yelling for help, until the 911 calls. Nobody knows exactly what transpired. All you know is arguing, fighting, death. That's it. That's all. There's no need to go in talking about self-defense. The trial is over. There's no need to talk about self-defense and what happened and how he was defending himself. There's no reason to talk about that. I'm just talking about why it got media attention, why it got blown up. This is what happened. This is the difference. When Trayvon Martin died, police showed up. Didn't arrest him. Didn't lock him up in handcuffs. He openly said, I shot this kid. They said, why did you shoot him? Self-defense. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get your statement down at the station, take a few photos. They went down to the station. They took a few photos right there on the scene. They mapped out the crime scene a little bit. They seen Trayvon Martin's body dead, went over there, flipped him up, checked his pulse. They grabbed George Zimmerman, took pictures of his head and his nose. He was beat up. And they took him down to the station, probably got his written statement. They probably also, I don't even think he probably required a lawyer at this time. Got a statement. They took the pictures of his clothes, which, another thing, if you were scuffling in the ground, in the dirt, in the grass, and Trayvon Martin's clothes are dirty as hell, and your clothes on your back, since you were on your back in dirty grass, and your clothes are clean, could have possibly been on the ground, but that's about the trial. I'm not trying to address that. So they took him down, got a statement, took pictures of his clothes. You're free to go. Sir, you are free to go. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Now, this is why it got so much media attention. Them words, you're free to go. What do you mean you're free to go? What do you mean he's free to go? What do you mean he's not getting arrested? A kid is dead. No witnesses saying that he was just defending himself. It's just his word. If this was a black man, this is what that family was like. The family didn't want to make it a race issue. They simply said, we just want justice. So they went and called every media medium that they could. Of course they are. Who wouldn't? The media is your best friend when it comes to getting attention for something that you feel is unjustified. That's what people do when things are unjustified. You go to the media, you let them know. So, of course, when the media picked up on it, they're like, wow, injustice. And I mean, he wasn't arrested. Let's go down there and investigate. Then you bring down Al Sharpton and you bring down Jesse Jackson and all the other, you know what I mean, the NAACP, the Black Panthers, anybody who's pretty much willing to listen to this kid's story is going to come down there and say something. That's what's going to happen. So, even with all that being said, it took, the fact of the matter was that the reason why this got so much attention was because it took that much attention just to get him arrested. Just to say, hey, you're under arrest for murder. You murdered this kid. You can't, I mean, yeah, you said it's self-defense, but we can't just let you go. That's what happened. That's why it got so much media attention. Now, as for whites, because this is, you know what I mean, we feel like as black people, this only happens to us. As for whites, how often do you need media attention to get justice? You don't. It just happens for y'all. If it's some black on white crime, some white on white crime, you know what I mean? Yes, the person may get away with it. You know what I mean? Yes, he might walk. Yes, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, you do not need that much media attention to even get the man to go to jail. You don't, especially when it's black on white crime. There's not much media attention needed. Once the person is caught, he's caught. Now what happens in black neighborhoods, because this is a little iffy also. You know what I mean? This can coincide with black people, with the police not caring about what goes on in black neighborhoods. However you want to care, that's your choice. What I'm going to do is address how I feel about it. This is what happens in black neighborhoods. There's one or two things that happen. One or two things. One, the kid is shot, the person is shot, they know who did it, or the person is still on the scene, so they arrest them immediately. You shot this kid, murder, bam, you're going to jail. Or the person is shot, the person flees, they go out and find that person and bring him back like, bam, caught, shot, arrested, you're going to jail. Or the person is at large, and in that city, yes, you're not going to get national attention for a person at large in a city when all the information that you need is from that city alone. They say things like, yes, you do get media attention. All you do is read the newspapers, watch the news. They talk about black people dying in Chicago all the time. They talk about black people dying in Gary. When there's a murder in Gary, they talk about it. It's just not nationally televised because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be for somebody to say, there's a killer at large. Any information that anybody have about this murder, please inform us on it. And guess what? Some people may snitch. Of course, this is another issue in black communities, is the no snitching thing. So of course, people don't either you get undercover people who's going to snitch, or you get people who don't want to snitch at all. So justice is normally not served in black communities because the person cannot be found. The person cannot be found, and nobody wants to stand up and be like, hey, we know he did it. That's what happens in our community. It's not whether we get attention or not. It's the fact that when in black communities and black on black crime, the person either is going to jail or they don't know that the person did it. But it still gets the attention that's needed to make sure that a conviction or whatever happens. There's no need to address every death that happens in America because one person got that much attention because the family decided that in order for my son to get justice, we need to contact the media. That's all that matters. That's the only reason why it got so much attention. It has nothing to do with race. When it started off, it had nothing to do with race. Now, as the story came along, yeah, of course we're going to feel race. Of course us as black people going to be like, wait, you mean to tell me that he's just going to walk? Of course we're going to make it a race issue because this is what happens to us all the time. When there's no justice for us, of course we're going to wake up like, hell yeah, we're going to make a big deal out of it. Now, black on black crime, I'm all against that. And I hope every person that murders or kills or steals goes to jail for it because it's not necessary. Ain't no reason for you to be out there shooting each other up. I'm all for it. Let's stand up. Let's stand up against it. It's going to take us. It's going to take us. Yes, we are standing up for Trayvon Martin. But as far as our neighborhoods go and people killing our black on black crime and everything, it starts with the gang violence. It starts with that. We got to minimize that before we can sit there and complain about what's going on. We have to work towards that. And that's what we're going to do. And I pray that all of us follow me on that issue. But don't sit here and get mad because one person got more attention than you. It's not about publicity. It's about justice. That's all it's about. Point blank, period. It's about just us for just us. Get what I'm saying? Peace, blessings, and love, and I'm out.